And welcome back in the garden. Hey guys, we're at Channel 3 Garden. Now listen what we do out here. We use a lot of organics out here to grow a lot of these different types of flowers. So when we're talking organics, we use no synthetics, lots of compost in the soil before we're going to plant these fruits and vegetables, and of course our different types of flowers, some extreme granules, something that we call soil boost. This is a rock dust. It works out fantastic out here in the desert Southwest. It's got a lot of trace elements in it, and it helps with that growth. In fact, it is supposed to increase growth by about 20%. We've used it last year and it did fantastic. Now, different types of flowers you want to plant out here. Start with your bulbs. Right now, all your bulbs should be going in. You're going to find some in the soil, and they are viable, and you can see how good they're doing right now. And these are all throughout our soil out here, and of course, our different types of wildflower seeds and our different types of seeds that we want to see come up in the spring, especially our snapdragons, our sunflowers, our poppies. All of these do very well this time of year, and like we talked about earlier, those wildflower seeds, they've got to go in right now, especially with the cooler temperatures and the damp soil we have right now. Some other things we want to think about is maybe some of our bearded iris. They come in these, well, these rhizomes, you can see them right here, and they work out fantastic, and they're very easy to put in and very easy to divide. So if you've got some iris out there, start thinking about dividing them. Your transplants need to go in, of course, and these are all important. One, because of the fact they attract a lot of beneficial insects. They're so important to our different types of vegetables that we're planting out there. In fact, I normally plant about 20 to 30% flowers to about anywhere from 60 to 80% vegetables. So when you're planting these, you want to plant your different dianthus and different types of pansies, your alyssum, which does a fantastic job of really attracting a lot of those beneficial insects, your begonias. And something that you might want to just add in there for an additional foil is some of your different types of kale. In fact, kale does very well out here in the desert Southwest, and it does well because of the fact it holds up almost into summertime. And then for some fragrance, well, some lavender will work out fantastic. Now, this is real important. When you're planting lavender, make sure you have well-drained soil. We use a lot of lava sand in our soil. This well-drained soil is going to go a long ways towards growing a lot of those different types of herbs and, of course, the lavender we just talked about. Now, some of your different other types of flowers and our standard varieties are your petunias. Don't mix petunias and vincas. So if you got vincas in the soil right now, make sure you switch over to something like your snapdragons or your geraniums. It's going to be real important that you don't transfer diseases from year to year. And this is a real interesting one. This is one that comes up every year, does very well out here. We talk about it all the time, folks. It's called nasturtium. Nasturtium works out great because of the fact, one, it gets rid of a lot of those non-beneficial insects. Two, it's edible, the flower and the actual leaf itself. And three, it perpetualizes in the garden. If you come out here and you look around our soil out here, see it growing all over the place, and you'll find all types of wildflowers growing. So when you're out there in your garden, make sure you're looking around and make sure you're identifying those weeds and flowers and vegetables that are trying to go up. Just one more thing I want to show you. Just take a look at these little lettuce that are coming up. These guys came up on their own in among our nasturtiums. This is what we call companion planting. So when you're out there, be very careful about what you're taking out of the garden and, of course, what you're putting in the garden.